Imagine a technology that could have changed the world but never got off the ground. What if Nikola Tesla's boldest idea was simply too early for its time?
At the beginning of the 20th century, humanity was just beginning to understand the power of electricity. Cities were first lit by electric lamps, factories switched to electric motors, and wires gradually entwined the streets. For most people, this already seemed like a miracle and a symbol of progress. But for Nikola Tesla, this was not enough. He believed that electricity should not be limited to cables, poles, and meters. In his vision, energy should be available everywhere, regardless of location, borders, or infrastructure, as naturally as air or sunlight. At that time, Tesla was already one of the most famous inventors of his time. His work with alternating current became the basis of modern electrical networks, and his name was known both in scientific circles and in the press. However, Tesla himself perceived this only as an intermediate stage. In his notes and speeches, he repeatedly emphasized that the true potential of electricity had not yet been revealed. He was interested not just in the transmission of energy, but in a fundamentally different approach, using the Earth itself as an active element of the energy system. Tesla believed that our planet was capable of entering into electrical resonance. He viewed the Earth not as a passive object, but as a giant conductor that could transmit vibrations over great distances without significant losses. It was this idea that formed the basis of his most ambitious project. In 1901, construction began on the Wardenclyffe Tower on Long Island, a structure that looked quite simple on the outside, but concealed a complex engineering concept. Under the tower were metal electrodes buried deep in the ground, which were supposed to connect the installation with the electrical properties of the planet. For Tesla, Wardenclyffe was not just a signal transmitter. He planned to create a global system capable of transmitting information and energy simultaneously. In his laboratories, he had already demonstrated the effects of wireless transmission: light bulbs that lit up without being connected, electric discharges that occurred at a distance from the current source. These experiments were documented, repeatable, and based on real physical phenomena. For Tesla, this was confirmation that his theory had practical applications. The project was financed by John Pierpont Morgan, one of the most influential financiers of the time. Initially, Morgan was interested in creating a powerful wireless communication system that could be commercially successful. However, it later became clear that Tesla was thinking much more broadly. His idea of wireless energy transmission did not involve simple control or metering of consumption. This was the turning point. The investor lost interest, and financing was stopped before construction was even completed. Without financial support, the project gradually stalled. The Wardenclyffe Tower was never fully operational.
I understand your reservations, sir, but the alternating current was merely the beginning.
Tesla tried to find new investors, but most people thought his ideas were too radical and premature. The world was ready for electricity as a commodity, but it was not ready for energy available to everyone without restrictions. Over the years, the building fell into disrepair, and Tesla himself increasingly withdrew from the public eye. In 1917, the tower was dismantled, and the Wardenclyffe project finally remained only in the pages of history. For the rest of his life, Tesla claimed that his system would work if given a chance. After his death, some of his scientific records disappeared or were classified, and we never learned all the details of his plan. Today, when humanity is once again returning to the ideas of wireless energy transmission and global systems, the question arises: was the Wardenclyffe Tower an unsuccessful fantasy, or simply an idea that appeared too early for its time?
If you liked this story, subscribe to the channel, like it, and see you in the next video about humanity's lost ideas.